You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network. Now, the largest new media platform on the web and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
The AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV's Beauty and the Beast After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Beauty and the Beast
She's
After
just
Show.
a girl and she's on fire.
Hey there, BCs, what's going on? Welcome to AFTERBUZZ TV. Bing is for doing, and tonight we are doing another fantastic episode of Beauty and the Beast. I was gonna call it Girl on Fire. I just want to sing, playing with fire. I'm Alikona Bradford, and singing, accompanying this wonderful vocalist next to me.
I'm done now. Hi, everybody. I'm Paige Sullivan.
Welcome back.
Thank you. I'm happy to be back. And hi, I'm Anik Dufour.
Yes, so everybody, welcome back. We had another really great episode. I will say at first, I was like, is this gonna start off slow? But it just picked up right away.
Yeah, this girl's on fire.
Do one of these. Hey, don't leave me hanging. Don't leave me hanging.
Oh, I'm not doing that. I was doing my bob.
Some co-hosts.
She's a dancer. I can't do that. I don't even know
Oh,
what
come
that
on.
is.
That's not even like heavy dancing, though. That's like, come on. 1990s. The Snake, no?
Girl, I was a baby in the 90s.
Oh, excuse me. Sorry, excuse me. Okay, so going into Beauty and the Beast right now. Let's
Where
just
there
talk
was
about-
no dancing.
There
But
wasn't
she
any
was
dancing.
on fire.
She
and
was.
Cat was on
Hello.
fire this episode.
Kick butt fighting scenes. We'll talk about
This
that.
is like a movie. I feel like it's a mini movie this episode.
Yeah, great effects, great scenes. But again, let's talk about it a little later. Let's talk about Gabe. He's the first person I want to talk about tonight because I think I knew where it was going, but at the same time I didn't, because they open up the scene and first of all he's sleeping with this girl that I'm so bad with faces, and I'm thinking, is that Evan's ex-girlfriend? But then when you really see her, it's obviously not.
Yeah, but she's also sleeping the first time you see her, so you're
True.
kind of like, she could be anybody. Who's
yeah.
that naked girl in the bed? I thought it was a one-night stand because he kind of woke up scared, like freaking out, blood coming out of his nose, and to me it seemed as though he was trying to hide from this girl. Didn't it seem like he was trying to do that?
I didn't take it as hiding from this girl. I took it as he was having an episode of something that he's happened before, but was trying to hide his episode from her.
Right. But when we see who she is, that's confusing to me because it seems as though she knows exactly who he is.
Right.
And his past.
Well, yeah,
so
she's
that's
got
why
the big scar on her back, too, so obviously she's
that's
been...
an intense scar, my friends. I mean, these two people are jilted. I mean, they've been wronged.
Right. But you know what? I didn't realize. I mean, I figured that just tells us that Muirfield not only has been having their hands in just military experiences, but just with regular civilians.
They took him out of his home, out of his country, and brought him to America. I know he was an orphan, but I'm sure he could have done better than Muirfield.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, it's just crazy that they take this innocent little boy and they've done these things to him. And at first, I still can't tell. Talking about Gabe, I can't tell if he's a good person or a bad person. I can't tell if his intentions are true when he's saying he's out for revenge. I think he's out for revenge, but I think he's also trying to gather their intel. Like, I almost feel like, you know, this is like kind of sad, but like the people who have been abused as a child grow up and abuse other people, you know?
Right.
Not always, but there are cases of that, you know? And when things have happened to you as a child, you sometimes repeat them. And I think it seems like he's like, with those files, he was like itching for them, like for that info. And the fact that they're hiding the girl also weirds me out.
Yeah, but I don't know, because up until the very last end of the scene, I was thinking I don't know if he's a good guy or bad guy. I think he has his own motives, and I think it's revenge. I don't think it's anything else as far as what you're saying. You know, him wanting to inflict pain or experiments on other people.
No, I don't think he wants to inflict pain. I just feel like he wants that info. Like, I think he wants to know more. Like, why is he so interested in the fact that Cat knows the Beast? Why is that such a big deal to him? Because him and that girl are basically they're working with Kat, but they're working behind Kat's back as well.
Of course.
And they're like, oh, she knows more than she told us. She's more involved in Muirfield than we thought. And it's just kind of like, that's where I'm wondering, I feel like there's an ulterior motive other than just revenge. Because if it was just revenge, they wouldn't care that Kat's mother might have been involved.
Right.
They wouldn't.
But you know what? At the same time, too, he didn't realize that till obviously the very end when they start talking about the necklace with the emblem on it.
Chimera.
But maybe in his mind, because he said he didn't say anything about the mother in regards to a bad thing, but she was the one that smuggled me out of Muirfield. You know, and that's another connection to Kat. And all he's just saying is that Kat is more deeply involved than we thought. She's lying and she's holding stuff back from us.
Yeah, but he already knew she didn't trust him. She never said she trusted him fully, and she never gave him any information.
Right.
She never really gave him any information. She kind of copped to knowing what Evan was doing. Yeah. But she didn't give him much. Yeah. He's the one who's been giving her everything.
Right. So. Trying to earn her trust.
I don't know. I don't think I don't know if I like him yet, and I don't know if we can trust him. I think he's got weird things going on.
But didn't you happen to say in the middle of the show, she's already trying to stop me?
No, I'm not gonna deny what I said. I think I said in the middle of the show, now that I like him a little better because I thought he was a good guy, he's more attractive to me. I found him to be cuter. And I don't know if it's just, you can meet the best looking person, but if they have bad traits and a bad personality, you don't like them. They become so ugly. And off the bat, in the gym, in the locker room, I was like, oh, this guy's cute. And then when we saw more of him, I really was turned off by him. In this episode, seeing him be more friendly, I was like, oh, he's got freckles. And he's kind of cute. And, and I really was thinking that. And I think that goes to show that looks aren't everything, but when you are a good person or people find you to be a good person, that your looks do improve. Yeah. Yeah. Dramatically. I mean, I really disliked him. In this episode, I was finding myself kind of liking him a lot more.
Right. Well, we saw, I feel like almost a little bit of a vulnerable side to him because when certain instances would happen and he'd have a flashback, it was that moment of you see him as a child and that innocence, but when he comes to and comes out of it, the looks on his face, whatever it is that he's thinking that other people don't realize he's thinking, it's a softer side of him. It's the victim side of him.
Kat said you could see he was like tortured. Yeah. She said you could see it in his eyes and his face when he was telling her that story and she was trying to convince Vincent that he was for real.
Right. I want to know more about Kat's mom. I know we're about to find out more. That's basically what's being hinted at us. But I really want to know what her involvement is. If it was something where she got involved, didn't realize how bad it was, and then got blackmailed or felt stuck. She was going to lose her life if she tried to leave the situation, so she stayed. But while she was there, just still tried to help people who were being abused.
I'm confused because I feel like, didn't Evan say like her parents, when he was talking to Vincent? Like maybe
I thought he said that too.
I thought he said parents. Which led me to believe that the father was involved. And it's obviously something we don't know. But Vincent knows. And now, Evan knows. We don't know what happened to Evan. I know some of you guys online think that Muirfield has his body and they're going to do something crazy with it.
I was one of those people.
Yeah, I mean, they might. I mean, that didn't occur to me at all, but maybe they do. But I'm saying, so if it's parents, that's even more confusing to me if her father was involved, who seems very much as though he's kind of clueless to everything.
Right.
Right.
Well, there are other things, because in the past he knew that she was involved, that he just kept it from Kat because he didn't want Kat to know.
But did he know the details of it, do you think? Or did he just know she was involved with something that was pretty intense?
I don't know. Maybe he knew the details and it caused ripples in their relationship because he didn't agree with what was going on.
Yeah. I mean, who knows, really? Because ultimately she was killed for her work with Muirfield.
Right.
So, and maybe he even knew that. I mean, maybe he knew ultimately that's why she was killed. Yeah. I mean, who knows?
Let's talk about the fingerprint situation because I thought that was really interesting too. Yeah, and it could be many different things because they were saying how it could potentially be filed down, but initially when I thought of it, the first thing in my mind was the body parts from last week's episode that we were talking about, the fact that we thought maybe somehow they're trading out body parts with the ones that were old beastly body parts. I don't know.
They would still have fingerprints though.
Well, I mean, I don't.
Wouldn't
how
they?
do you shave someone's fingerprints off?
You can. I mean, because say you burn your hand, if you burn your fingers bad enough, you will not have fingerprints anymore, or you'll have like partial fingerprints. Right. And so maybe they did burn them, but they were very smooth. So I think it was more of like a filing process. And I honestly think they just do it so they can't be tracked. When something like this happens and this guy dies in the middle of a precinct. Nobody knows who he is.
Right.
There's no way to trace him. I mean, maybe his teeth, but I'm assuming if they go through that much trouble in the fingers, maybe he's got veneers. I mean, who knows?
Right.
Right.
So what do you guys think of that guy who walked into the precinct? Do you think he's a good guy, bad guy? Like, he really is out to warn Kat? Or do you think that Kat's theory about the fact that potentially it could be all part of some big setup?
I think he was out to warn her.
I think he was out to warn her.
Yeah, he seemed genuinely scared, and for him to even go as far as lose his life for it. I mean, I think it's one of those things where, like we were saying, maybe with Kat's mom, you get involved in something and you don't realize what it is. And once you do realize what it is, you want out and you want to help the people that you've harmed. And so maybe he just had a change of heart. He seemed pretty young. I mean, and so maybe he just realized, you know, I found out who this girl is and I realize what's happening to her and I just want to fix it. I mean, they're all people. I mean, maybe they're not good people, but they're people.
Right.
I mean, I don't know.
Speaking of the precinct, what about Joe? Because I was getting a little bit irritated with Joe. He's doing too much for me. He's becoming that weird, sick, crazy, obsessed person over his brother. And we get it. You want revenge, okay. But he really is pawning off his emotions on everybody, and it's not fair to anybody else who's in his life.
It.
Yeah.
It's enough already.
I get it. I think it's because we're living in TV world. You know what I mean? It's TV, and we want it just to move, and we want to get past it. We want to move on, you know? But I think in the real world, that's what people do when they lose somebody. They get mad, and they take it out on the people who least deserve it. I mean, you take it out on the people who are closest to you, because those are the people who will stay.
Right.
They're going to put up with it, and they're going to listen to it, and they're going to deal with it. But I do agree. I think even for the show's sake, even if in real life, you know, this guy is going to be tormented with the death of his brother for his whole life. You know, he's going to be upset by this. It's going to harm him and hurt him. But I think for the sake of the show, he needs to start taking steps forward. And I think he's going to after this episode. Though.
It's your there's your personal life and there's your your personal life and your professional life.
Yes.
And he's crossing the boundaries of professional life, especially because he is at a higher level. You know what I mean? He's in charge of all these people and this department, and now he's letting his personal life get in the way and sending out a task force to do this and all do that. If it was just somebody else, you wouldn't do that for them.
Here's my question, though. I mean, if it was somebody, it's hard because the lines are blurred because your case is your brother. So, yes, it is your personal and your professional life meshing together. And it's very hard, I think, to separate yourself. And I think in any other situation, if it wasn't a TV show again, he wouldn't be on that case, you know?
Of course.
The state wouldn't allow him to be on that case.
Right.
But for the sake of television, he is. My thoughts are, you know, I get that he wants to find Evan because in the real world, I think if somebody betrayed the department, action should be taken. I don't think for the sake of protecting all the other cases you've won and your reputation, I don't think that's good enough reason, for me at least, for the justice system to work the way it's supposed to work. If, say, Evan was really a bad guy and it had nothing to do with Muirfield or anything like that, and he really was somebody who just betrayed a department, by all means, please look into that and find him and bring him to justice and overturn all those cases if he made things up or he covered up. Because I think there are cases in this world where innocent people go to jail or are killed for reasons we don't know. And if Evan, for some reason, covered those things up, even covering up that information about the drugs in his brother's system from Joe, I just don't like that. I think, you know, this is your job. You take an oath, lay it on the table, and just, like, do what you're supposed to do.
Right.
I don't know.
I'm glad, though, that Joe found out about his brother.
Yeah, he needed to.
Yeah.
Because
he doesn't know the extent of it. But
well, no, but at the same time, the entire time, he's looking at his brother as a saint. And when other people, even Kat in the past, has hinted at the fact that, well, I don't know if she did or not, but as far as, you know, he needs to know that the reason his brother got killed is because of the fact that he had a gun and was about to kill somebody else. He is not a saint. He was involved in some nasty stuff, and you need to know about that.
Yeah. I think it's important to know those things. I think after somebody dies, yes, it's painful to hear, and sometimes you want to protect their loved ones, but I think they have a right to know who these people are. I mean, you can mourn that in death, and you can move forward and heal, and eventually you'll forgive them, but I think it's important for him to know.
But you know what? As a viewer, it's very frustrating to watch, especially him looking, because we know that Evan is innocent, and we know that he sacrificed not only his life, but his reputation. And
Kat.
here's Joe, just going in on him. So as a viewer, me watching it, I'm getting irritated because, first of all, I feel bad for Evan. He lost his life, and you're accusing a dead guy and you just don't even know about it. I want to call you ignorant, but you're not, because obviously you don't know.
He doesn't have all the information, and
But it's still irritating to watch.
it's super irritating to watch. But I think we don't have. Obviously, we can't jump in there and fix it, but he doesn't have all the information, and I wonder how any of us would react in a similar situation. But for me, my other thing with Joe is Tess needs to walk away.
Yes,
She's
that's
also
where
being
I
the
was
person.
going.
Yeah, she's letting him take his anger out on her, and she's there. She's a rock. She's being there for him. But he still goes home to his wife every night, and I just don't get it.
But she's not. Verbally, she hasn't kicked him to the curb, but it's not like we see her with him emotionally.
Right.
She's not consoling him and being loving towards him. She's coming at him from a business perspective. When she's talking to him, I don't see her being endearing
So,
like the way a lover would talk to
Do you
another
think she's
lover.
over it? Do you think she's done?
I think so, and I think the more she spends time around Vincent and Cat, the more she's gonna be over it.
I hope so.
And I've said that in the past, when you're around somebody who's in a happy relationship and you see what it's supposed to be like and what's lacking in your life, then you start really looking at your own life going, I feel like I deserve what you guys, is that what it's supposed to be like? Because I forgot. I've been so intertwined in what I'm in that I've forgotten that that's what it should be.
Because I'm assuming the thing between her and Joe started in a heat of passion. They were probably drunk, or sexual tension drew them together, and it had nothing to do really with love. You know, you don't. I think there's love. I think there was love between them in a friendship, but I think when you get into a relationship with a married man, I mean, there has to be a lot more going into it.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
And I don't condone cheating, and I don't even condone being the other woman knowing it's happening, especially whereas you know this woman.
Right.
Yeah.
And you're around her.
Right.
I just think it needs to end just for the sake of everybody. I think Joe not only needs to end it with Tess, he needs to end it with his wife. I think he needs to lose it all.
Okay, agreed. Agreed. But I think the segue to that is Mr. Kirk, which
He's
it was,
cute.
it was odd seeing somebody else do Evan's job, just like they said, because I miss Evan. Even though I was getting annoyed with him, I miss him. So here's this replacement guy coming in, but you see Tess with there's just little hints. What'd she call him? Hey, hot stuff or something when she called him?
Handsome.
Hey, handsome. And Cat's all handsome, huh? It's nothing.
Yeah.
It's going to be something.
I hope it's
I think
something.
gonna
Yeah,
be
so do
something.
I.
Well, if you guys at home think it's going to be something, you can let us know on iTunes in the comments. We check them, we read them, we talk about them while we're watching the show. So make sure you check us out on iTunes, download our podcast, any other AfterBuzz TV podcast that you like or watch or want to get into. They're all there for you. You can rate us. We'd love 5 stars. And again, comment, tell a friend if they're a BC as well. I'm sure there's tons of BCs who don't know about us. And for those of you who do enjoy it, maybe your friends would like it as well. So make sure you check that out. And also, new to AfterBuzz TV is that you can now stream us on your iPad, your iPhone, and your Android phone, or Android device. I'm not up on all the technology, but you can stream it. And so make sure you check that out too, because now you can take us on the go. Yay.
I want to say something as far as Tess is concerned. Something she was giving Chris. I did it again.
Kristen
Kruick, because she's my homie.
Homes. My
No.
homes.
But she was saying to Kat, they were talking about something not having to do with relationships, but talking about Gabe and whether or not she should trust him. One of the things she said was, trust your gut. Your gut's never gotten us into trouble. Okay, well, when it comes to relationships, there is that little voice. Trust your gut. What is your gut telling you about Joe?
Hurt. I get that.
Peace
I get
out.
that.
Yeah.
But there's points where your gut says, I love this person so much.
No, that's your heart.
Well, I guess
your
that's
heart
your heart.
says, I
Yeah.
love you so much. Your gut says, this doesn't feel
Well,
right, but be
What
quiet.
about your head?
Yeah.
I think the problem with the relationship aspect, I think you have your gut, you have your heart, and you have your head.
There's
You know,
way too much going
Yeah,
on.
there's like logic, and then there's what you feel, and then there's what you know, to be
It's true.
true. It's what your friends tell you. But we have yet to hear Kat be like, you need to break it off. Nobody's said that to her.
I don't know why. But at the time of them talking about Joe in the past, Kat was so in her mind about everything else and busy hiding
She
things.
didn't say anything.
That she didn't. But now that their friendship is starting to come back together, and maybe also, too, when your friendship is just starting to mend itself, really do you want to go in and start telling your best friend who just decided to let you back in, by the way, P.S., the guy you're dating, you need to get rid of him.
No, I get it. And I also think, though, that their relationship, I don't think there's as much healing as we thought there would be. I think Tess sees how big this is and how much bigger it is than all of them, and Kat really was protecting her, that I think everything else is in the past. I think it's not even on her heart anymore. I think there's 100% trust in Kat, and that she has forgiven and forgotten everything.
I would say I really like her involvement. I like hearing her talk about Muirfield and the fact that she's covering up evidence, and Kat's like, "Ooh, I rubbed off on you."
Yeah, I like that. I like that now we can see Tess is on their team, and she's kind of, you know, she's not above Kat anymore. You know, you stole evidence, you tampered. Well, now I did too. So I mean, we're best friends. You do it, I do it, I guess.
Right.
Which I like. I like that.
I liked her little flirting act with
That's
the
what
guy.
I wanted to say.
Wasn't that like
It was cute.
Yeah.
Her drunk stuff, like, hi.
She's good. She's a good actress.
Yes, she is. It was fun. And we got to see her looking lighthearted and playful, and
She looked prettier when she was like that.
She's
You know what I mean? Because she was all like smiling, and she's never smiling. She's like,
so serious.
Yeah, she's always so serious.
She's always so serious.
And her eyes are always so focused. And this, she was more just like, oh.
Wow. So you were a cage fighter?
Yeah.
And then she chokes him out. Cage fighter.
Yeah, because if
Like,
she
that's right.
if she really like approached him as Tess, the guy would be like, oh my god, I don't want to talk to her because she's so like intimidating.
I was just gonna say maybe that's why she has a hard time with guys.
She's super intimidating.
She is. I mean, she in the past has gone to little parties here and there. She'll drag,
but she's got
Kat
that
out,
face
but-
like, don't touch me. Yeah, it's just like, because Kat's so dainty and like little, and then Tess she's pretty, but she's got these hard features, and when she isn't smiling, it can be definitely read as like, go away.
Right.
I mean, but that it works great for being a detective.
of course.
I think maybe her love life has been affected by it, but I don't know. She definitely looked cute when she was flirting today.
I'd like for her to do something with her eyebrows. They're just getting to me.
Because they're so big there.
Yeah, they're a little
Well, blame whoever's
It's all
styling her.
the writer's fault. Not really
No.
makeup artist, but you know
Makeup
what? It's part of the character. It's just part of the character.
No, it is. It is. I wonder if you were to see her in person, if she has them like that. She probably doesn't.
I don't know.
You know? I mean, there's people. I wonder if Vincent has that big scar on his face when he's out.
Obviously not.
No, I'm kidding. But yeah, I liked her this episode. I like that she's much more involved now, and it's not just Kat and Vincent against the world. You know, it's like they're like a team, JT and all of them.
Yeah.
And even at that last moment when Evan was still there, it's like
finally
they're
were.
like a team. They're doing this together.
But tonight we saw two teams. We saw two teams working towards the same cause, but separately. Here's Kat trying to protect Vincent, and here's Vincent trying to protect Kat. And in the meantime, it doesn't hurt to kind of keep a secret if you're protecting somebody. But at the same time, JT made a good point and said, imagine if the two of you guys were working together. How much more progress you would have made. And he's right. He's always the voice of reason.
Well, yeah, because he's an outsider. I mean, the outsider is always the voice of reason. You know, everybody can see your relationship better than you can because, I mean, I always say don't judge what goes on behind closed doors, but I think what happens in front of people, you know, the people who are looking in have a better view. Like, we have a better view of what's happening on Beauty and the Beast because we're looking at it. If I were watching Kat, you know, storm into that building alone, you know, she used that swipe, but how did she know nobody else was going to be in there? She, like, didn't even brace herself for anything. It was just kind of like, oh, whatever. And I'm going to steal these servers, and I'm not going to worry about it.
Yeah, and not even the fact that you could be under surveillance and that somebody's going to come creeping up on you. She did seem very nonchalant and careless.
She was just like, oh, it's fine. We're good.
But what I'm wondering, too, if I was Kat and you're in this building, wouldn't it, and I guess maybe too late is when it dawned on her, but the fact that Gabe knew all this information, he happened to know the right password. He happened, and okay, fine, he had a good reason because that was one of the
what
big,
they made, right?
Yeah, things. But outside of that, once she got in, and he's like, okay, go click to the right. Now, when you click to the right click this, and then put 2, 3, 5, 4, whatever it is.
Okay.
How do you know all that?
Because that's how a computer works. Like, what he was telling her was something that's on a computer.
How does he know what kind of computer it's at? It could be a Mac. It could be a PC.
I'm sure if he's...
Off-brand, maybe.
I think if he's been working with Muirfield or against Muirfield, maybe. I think that part was normal. I think the fact that he was so urgent to get all of this. Here's my thinking. Destroy the servers. The first thought I had was, destroy their information, destroy their brain.
Well, wouldn't you be curious to want to know what the information is and what they're doing, and maybe you could find out more?
I guess, but maybe I'm more of that person who is like, let bygones be bygones, and let's just get rid of all this.
No, she wants to know. I mean, come on. We're talking about a girl who was doing what for her mother until Vincent finally told her.
Do you think, though, that she didn't know that's what that room was? She didn't know that's what was there, because when she got in there, she was like, whoa. This is their brain. Like, this is their server. So she didn't even go in there prepared to steal any of this information. She didn't even know that.
Well, no, but she still did. And if you were in her mindset, she's not thinking destroy. Again, this is a girl who's very curious. It's part of her job to investigate things. So, of course, she's going to want to break it down and investigate. She's going to want to know why they made Vincent the way he is. Or maybe she's thinking there's a cure somewhere in there.
No, I see that, but for me, it was just more like, what is the best way to destroy Muirfield? Destroy their information.
Yeah.
Destroy what they have.
Yeah.
They're vulnerable. Take it away.
At the same time, I was kind of hoping that Gabe would get the information just to see what he would do with it.
Yeah.
Type of thing.
Do you think he did?
Before.
I know she said no. I know she said no, but I
Yeah.
didn't know if she was lying.
No,
No, I
because he
think
was
he got
really
corrupted.
disappointed.
Yeah.
No. I meant the blonde girl. Like, what if she's lying?
Oh, maybe? I don't know.
You know what I mean? Because she was like, no, I couldn't.
You know,
Because it doesn't seem like he has any idea of how that works. It seems like
True.
she was the mastermind
but
behind
she
it.
was saying, why would she be so concerned about the fact that do not let Kat interrupt anything? Because if she does, all the files are corrupted. So that shouldn't be a lie, because it wouldn't be that much of a concern for her to have him get on the phone with her and just don't mess with anything.
No, this is just me thinking out loud. I mean, I don't really know. Do we even know her name? I mean, I don't
Blonde
think they even
girl?
said her name.
From One Tree Hill?
From One Tree Hill. I'm sure she has a name, obviously, but we don't know it right now. I'm sure we'll know it next week. But, I mean, everybody's working for themselves. I mean, Kat's basically working for Vincent. Gabe's working for himself. This girl probably met Gabe looking for Muirfield, and they just had a common interest, and it just worked that way.
Sleeping with each other?
Well, I mean, who better to sleep
Common
with
interest.
than somebody...
Yeah.
than somebody else who's been tortured by Muirfield. I mean, I just don't know. I just don't know these people,
Bond over our scars.
Yeah, but, I just feel like when they introduce new characters, I have to, know more about them. I want more from... I feel like that commercial, we want more! You know when your parents say you can have more and we want more? I just want to know who these people are.
Yeah.
I just feel like we don't have enough background on them. Because what was Gabe doing prior to this? Why did he pretend to be the Beast? Why did he do
Yeah, that's a little bit weird. He's sitting here saying he spent his whole life tracking Muirfield down. Maybe he was trying to lure the Beast. Framing him, probably not a good way to track him down.
Yeah.
But maybe in his mind, he thought that was going to cause the Beast to come out from hiding. I don't know. But obviously, because you know Muirfield, you're putting it in a way of you see him as the victim. Whereas before, we saw him portraying it as out to get him.
As a villain, yeah. I don't know really still who he is or what he's doing. And I wonder, do you think they'll become a team kind of? All of them?
I don't know.
next week
obviously foreshadowing
Right.
Vincent being a little bit jealous. But I thought it was really odd to see Catherine so quickly work with him. And it was weird to see her working with him instead of Vincent. And on top of that, to see Vincent overhearing it, he's looking at it from a protective point of view, but at the same time, as a boyfriend, listening in on the fact that your girlfriend is kind of going behind your back and working with somebody else to find out information. Yes, it's for you and for what she thinks is a common cause, but in relationships, you don't hide things and you don't keep secrets. So how hurtful. And when he showed up, when she was just in the nick of time, of course, but just that, I don't know why that scene where he's just like, woo.
And she was like, ooh.
Yeah, but that woo wasn't like a, woo, thanks, you're here to save me. It almost felt like a, I just got caught.
No.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when you get caught with your hands in the cookie jar, that's the look I got.
Always eating cookies. Well, I don't know. But then at the end they rekindled and they were fine.
Oh,
and they
of
talked
course.
about, it was very lovey-dovey for what's been foreshadowed for us. But just a random point is that his new humble abode where he's living is very similar to that of the Beast in the, in the fairy tale.
Yes.
I mean, it's like a
cartoon.
castle. It's huge.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I was just like, so the people who did live here, what happened to them?
where is it exactly, and why is it so secure and safe? Because at least the warehouse seems secure and
dark
safe
and-
because it was just out of nowhere in the middle of barbed wire, and this just seems like a really nice
Home.
Yeah.
Is it somebody's like vacation home, you think, and they just don't go there in the winter? So Vincent's just gonna like squat for a while and then he'll head back out.
Didn't Cat mention something about it at the beginning of the episode?
No, she found him in that
was it that
warehouse.
one?
You know,
Oh, it was a
that-
warehouse.
Yeah,
It was a
they were in a warehouse in the
Okay.
beginning, and she was just saying, I'd visit my boyfriend anywhere, which is
Yeah.
sweet, but he was like, this is just not really romantic.
I think that's the least of their worries, to be honest.
I do too, but I thought it was very sweet
It's
that
very
he considered
sweet.
that.
Yeah, it's sweet, but it's just your head should be elsewhere, Vincent. Like saving yourself.
He's in
Saving
love
yourself.
land right now.
I
He's
know.
in blissful.
But they keep finding that when they get comfortable and they get too involved in their own relationship, they slack.
right.
You know, and that's when they get caught up in
But
stuff.
finally, they are on the same page of, you know what? Let's just hunt Muirfield down. Like, let's just get him.
Mm-hmm.
We can have a normal life. They are the problem. Quit running. Just make them go away. But at the same time, we don't know how many they are.
Yeah, no idea. It's government, it seems like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're working with the military, it seems pretty
Oh, that's a
much
good
just a
point.
government thing.
That's a good
So
point.
you can get rid of Muirfield, but I bet you can't get rid of the government.
That's true.
I think it's like they're gonna multiply. It's like you get rid of one, and then here comes like.
But
you
how
know,
many
2,
people
3,
do you
4.
think were experimented on? And do you think any of those experimented people are now a part of some
Sounds like
super
thousands of them. It seems like
Yeah.
a plethora of people. If you just think about that one crew that he was with, I mean, and then you think about this little boy and this girl, and none of them have crossed paths before. So this has been happening. And Gabe was little when it happened.
Yeah.
Vincent, it was only 10 years ago. Gabe, it's 20-something years ago.
That's true. So they've
You know,
been
this
around
has
for
been
a long
happening.
time. But I'm wondering, what were you really doing to those little kids, or just people in general?
They said they were taking blood and tissue. Like, I think they were
I know,
testing
but
that stuff.
Testing it for what? Do you think that was the prep for the actual experiment that Vincent was a part of?
I don't think so, because that happened so much later. I think, well, maybe that stuff does take a long time. I'm not a scientist, but I just think they've had a multitude of different things they've worked on over time. I mean, because that scar on that girl's back is very different than anything we've seen
True.
with Gabe or with Vincent. So I think every generation of people they've tested have been for different reasons. You know, adults, they just go full force and inject them with stuff. But with little kids, you know, we're just going to use their blood or just their tissue or like use them as like a little, it's like they just like took from them, you know?
Yeah.
And they didn't know better. The kid didn't know better.
Yeah.
I mean,
and they knew better.
They couldn't do anything about it, though. I mean, he's just a little boy from another country.
Right.
So,
Rude. Just rude.
and it was weird
Yeah.
also, the people who adopted him, like, were like, oh, does your company know? Like, did you hear that?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, it's like, so did you
They
think?
knew about what they,
Yeah, like, they knew what happened to this little boy. Like, are they they can't be part of Muirfield
No.
because she smuggled them out. It's
Right.
just,
But
it's
they're
weird.
giving him like medicine. Like, what was the medicine?
She was giving him
for?
medicine.
Yeah, it's like
Maybe it's to wean him off of
well,
whatever
no,
he'd
he's
been on?
still taking
No?
all those pills. Remember last episode when he popped pills in his
yes.
mouth?
where
and
he
had
like
that-
starts shaking and
He had that drawer. She said he's going to need these. And so I think he's still on those medications.
Do you guys still? I still think there's potential for him to theory, potential to him becoming a beast, and he's taking those pills to stop it.
Maybe.
And maybe that's why there is that huge interest in Vincent, because Vincent is already what he doesn't want to be.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. I mean, he was having that bloody nose, but
Yeah.
I don't really know what that means, you know?
Right.
Could just even be
Things
stress.
are altering inside of him, just like Vincent was going through his growing pains.
Yeah, the blackouts and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is an intense episode.
Very intense. Before we wrap and go into anything else, though, the last thing I do want to talk about is just to highlight the fight scene.
Yeah, it was crazy.
That was a great scene.
It was amazing. It was really like watching a movie. And I was very impressed by them. I don't see that happening in real life. I mean, Vincent, yes, because he's a beast taking on all those people. But Kat's like, oh, this is your machine gun? Meh. I'm going to take it from you. and
Hey,
like,
she's a kick butt cop. She knows martial arts. Martial arts is not about strength.
But we've also
it's about the technique.
We've also seen her like be taken out by a guy on a bicycle. So I mean,
Yeah.
remember that guy in the alley and that time in the subway? Like she had a hard time with like two people.
Yeah.
Or one
But
person.
Vincent had her back, and maybe she just has this newfound confidence.
Vincent's always had her back. He's always there. I just think it was too much for me to be like. It was very like Matrix. You know, they're like whoa. Whoa. Like I think it was great to watch, believable, maybe not, but it was fun. It was definitely action packed, and like I said, this episode was like a little movie.
Yeah.
No, I liked it.
I just like seeing a girl be powerful and kick butt.
I like seeing it, and it's not the fact that she's a girl. It's just whenever I see somebody in a circle like that, and there's just people all around them, and they're like, oh no worry, I got this. And they take them all out. I'm always
Yeah.
like, no, you didn't, because there's 5 of them and there's one of you.
I mean, you never. That's like when you watch fight scenes and when that is going on and they're fighting this side of the circle,
You're like, what are
everybody
they
else
doing?
just seems to be moving slowly, just enough time, waiting and holding it. Why wouldn't you just hit them now?
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's what I mean. It's just like, I know it's the magic of TV. The magic. But it's just funny, like, when you think realistically, like, okay, that was amazing television and I really enjoyed watching it, but
Not so much.
realistically. But I also did like how we saw Vincent kind of using his power in a controlled way and jumping with her and running out of the building. I liked that.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, as much as he was the beast and like the hideous whatever, when he swooped her up and he jumped up all high and had her in his arms, I was like, that's kind of sexy.
Well, he looked at her too. He looked at her and he's like, yeah. And I was like, oh.
Yes.
If I was kind of be like, just get me out of here.
I'd be like, I'm yours.
If they don't kill me, you will. Get me out. No, he's definitely learned to control things a lot better, which is very interesting to see develop.
Well, and also we noticed too, it takes him a little bit longer to beast out when he wants to beast out,
Mm-hmm.
which is interesting.
Well, I don't think prior to meeting Kat, he ever wanted to beast out.
True, but it would happen like this, whereas now it's like,
Yeah, and then yeah. Oh my gosh.
you like my
She's been practicing at home.
in the mirror all by myself, just for you.
She's going out for Jay Ryan's role.
Look out.
So funny.
But well, lastly, just talk about, and we touched about it before, the girl finding the bolt that was bent, which gives away the fact that Vincent was affiliated.
It doesn't necessarily give
Bum,
away
bum,
that it's
bum.
Vincent. It gives away that there was something. I think the fact that these people read into things so quickly is like, oh, Kat's working with the Beast because we found this thing sheared off. It's like, oh no, you don't think maybe that Muirfield has created other beasts that they work with as a team and they perfected? Because maybe they have. I don't know.
Maybe something exploded. When things explode, bolts break.
Yeah, bolts break. I just think it's like, you know, it was just too easy of a conclusion to jump to.
Right.
But then again, I mean, we don't know where it's leading, so.
Well, we can talk about where it's leading in our predictions, but right now, why don't we get into some news?
AfterBuzz TV News.
So you guys know there's always a Twitter party. Tomorrow it is hashtag Feisty Fest.
Feisty Fest.
Feisty Fest.
Feisty Fest.
Yes. So that's little bit of information. Also, we had one of our wonderful Twitter followers tweet us about the e-online poll where we're trying to get, and you know, I'm not sure if this poll is really going to affect whether or not it'll be renewed, but it is nice to know that fans really do care a lot about the show. And so we are voting. If you guys haven't voted online for Beauty and the Beast to be one of the one of the shows to be saved. Right now, they are in second place at 30.14% behind Smash, who is at 36.
Oh, come on. We're better than Smash.
I know. You guys, log on and vote.
Our producer does not agree.
Well, I host Smash here. Smash needs to be saved. Just saying.
Well, maybe we can save them all, but you guys need to vote. Not that, like we said, we don't know if it's going to do anything, but it's just nice to know that they've got the backing. And I think it's also good for the networks to see that people really do like this show.
This fan base alone is just so dedicated. This is why we love you guys. We love being a part of it. Just everything from when the books were being sent in to the Twitter parties. It's just so organized, and it can't go unnoticed. In my theory, it just can't go unnoticed.
Yeah, no, I think it's definitely going to be noticed. And I think even, you know, the actors on the show, they feel the love. You guys are tweeting them like crazy.
Yeah.
So I think that's important. So everybody, if you have the time tomorrow to go to E-Online, you should vote.
Yes. Also, check out the latest video from Austin and Nina Lisandrello. Forgive me, because I totally got dyslexic last episode and started calling her Lisa by her last name. Okay. But anyways, so this time they visited the morgue. Did you guys see that at all?
I don't think
Crickets.
so.
Crickets.
What are you saying?
No.
What?
Okay. The set tour. They went
Oh,
and
okay.
showed
No,
the
I didn't
morgue.
see this yet. No.
I love watching these videos because it's really cool to see the actors as themselves versus seeing them as their character.
Yeah.
And for the record, it's process, not process. And only if you watch the video you would get it. But
Okay.
that one was just for Austin basis. Just for you.
Does he have an accent in real life?
No, but they were imitating a British accent.
Because of Evan?
Yes, because they were in the morgue.
Oh, okay.
And he was trying to figure out how to say process. And
Process.
Lisa, there I go
Nina.
again. Nina was saying process.
I think it is process.
You know what?
Isn't it processed?
Stroh.
Alikona's English
You know, and
British
here's the
accent.
thing. There's
was
probably some British beasties right now watching the show, looking at me like, oh. And there's probably also some British people right now that are imitating Americans and laughing at how we like to imitate them all the time. You guys are just so sophisticated.
They
Take
are.
it as a compliment.
Yeah.
You just sound so smart.
Yes.
Okay.
They do.
Anyways.
They do.
So, and more news and gossip. So I had a few pictures, and I don't know if they will get pulled up or not, but like we had some rumors, and it could be shots from an up-and-coming episode. But there was a picture of Jay Ryan and Kristen Crook, and they were on the street, like arm in arm, looking at something. And again, I don't know if this is, but I was like, oh, this looks very personal. It doesn't look friendly. It looks more than friends, but I don't want to start any rumors. Because it could be, again, a shot from...
Yeah, it could be a scene.
But it didn't look like it.
Okay.
Anyways.
But where did the picture come from?
Online.
You know, the internet.
I mean...
The internet where there's no guys or Photoshop. No, I hear you. I mean, it would be interesting if they were to develop a relationship, but didn't we say he's got a baby coming?
He does have a baby on the way.
So, hopefully... He's not taking any like cues from Joe on the show, and he's being faithful to his pregnant wife or girlfriend or fiance.
No, I don't think
so,
he is.
But that's interesting.
Yes.
It is Hollywood, though. You never know.
All right. Oh, also,
It's
don't
Canada.
forget there is the Test Diaries, and then Heather has a blog, too. So if you go on to Beauty and the Beast Nation, BATB Nation, they've got all kinds of really cool stuff, the comic strip, all these blogs and diaries. So if you really want to get into the heads of the characters prior to everything that's going on, check it out. I have big news for all you guys. I haven't even told these guys yet, but next week be sure to tune in because it is not solidified, but it's pretty looking good. I've been talking to Awesome Basis on Twitter, and I have been talking to his publicist, and it looks like he might be coming into the studio next week.
Not even calling.
Next Thursday. Thank you very much. So we are excited. If you are watching this episode, we're excited.
Yeah, no, I'm excited.
Yeah.
I love Austin.
So, something you guys can do too. If you have any questions for him, I'm sure, tweet us your questions. Can't guarantee we'll get to all of them because I'm sure we'll get a lot of them, but your most important question, if you want to tweet us, we'll have a list. We're going to grill him.
Yeah, I mean, I think he'll be an open book judging.
Oh, he's going to be a lot of fun.
Judging from his Twitter, he seems like he's a great guy, so.
Yes. So, Twitter. P.S. though, I am working on, and I don't know if it's possible because now that everything's wrapped, everybody's gone home and they're vacationing, but I did tweet out at Jay Ryan and Kristen Crook and ask them to be on the show too. So if you guys as fans, AfterBuzz fans, please tweet out and let them know you love our show. You'd love to see them on our show for the finale. Make sure you tweet. Make sure you add AfterBuzz in the Twitter handle and also one of us so that way we know what's going on and you're communicating and they know that we're connected to AfterBuzz. Maybe they'll reach out. Who knows?
Who knows?
So that's my news and gossip. Do you guys have anything?
No.
Okay, so let's go into our predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Predictions. I predict that even though I really want to see JT and Tess get together, I know she keeps shaking her head at me. I predict that she's going to start going for Kirk. That's one of my predictions.
Okay, I know people keep saying this. Again, your comments, I read them. I just don't see JT and Tess happening. They are just on two different ends of the spectrum. I know opposites attract, but I don't think it would even benefit the show for them to be together. Honestly, I think they are much better in the best friend roles than if there was like, oh, we're besties and we're like couples. This is so cute. Like, I just don't think that is something that would benefit the show.
This is my prediction.
I'm just telling you my prediction.
So, Anik, tell me.
That you agree. No, I don't agree. I do see the Kirk thing though. I think I see Kirk playing a bigger role. I'm also predicting that we have to see Heather or find out what's happening with Heather because we haven't seen her since that episode when he died, basically. Well, the episode after. So my prediction is that we'll see her before the end of the season, which I think we will. And I think we'll see the relationship tested next week, but I think they made it more dramatic than it's going to be.
I do think that Vince is going to get a little bit jealous because Kat, it's the anniversary of her mom's death. She's inviting Gabe to come along. That's a big deal. So I think Vincent is going to be pretty heated about that, and he still doesn't trust Gabe yet. He's made it now, and I feel like Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, she loves him. He should know that from everything she has put herself through for him.
True.
I think in a relationship, you have to have trust. And if anything, don't be jealous of Gabe. Be protective of Kat, but don't take it out on her, you know? Be giving her advice, be supportive, but I forbid you to talk to him. Like,
That was a lot.
I'm a grown woman. Like, please don't tell me who I can and cannot talk to. And she says that.
Yeah. That was a little too much.
Down.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
God. Like, who are you, my dad? No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Anik, your predictions?
My predictions, I predict actually that Joe, with Tess, you know, gets the whole like thing going on with Kirk. I think that Joe might get a little jealous and maybe, you know.
Leave his wife?
Yeah.
Really?
I don't know,
And it's
that's
going to
my prediction.
backfire because she's
Yeah,
going to say,
exactly.
honey, I don't have feelings for you anymore. Too little, too late. Have fun alone.
Exactly.
I hope
you
that's
already,
what Tess
you
does.
you dissed your wife, so she don't want to be with you. And guess what? I don't want to be with you too. Bye.
Yeah, that's what he deserves. I like you as a
my
person,
last,
Joe.
My last prediction, which is not really a prediction, but it's just a letting on of Gabe may have news, and it may be false, and it may be true, that he knows something about a cure.
Oh.
Or maybe he's trying to get the cure. I don't know. But until then, let's leave our Twitter handle so that way you guys can give us all of your questions for Austin. Go ahead.
All right, I am Paige Sullivan, and you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Paige Sull.
And I'm Anik Dufour, and you can find me on Twitter at JustAnik and my website, anikdufour.com.
And I am Alikona Bradford. You can find me at Kiss My Passport on Facebook, on Tumblr, or you can look at my website, AlikonaBradford.com/television host. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We will see you next week.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.